Welcome to the Crimson Comedy Show! Welcome to the Crimson Comedy Show New Year's Eve edition. I'm your host, Andy. Today we got a very special guest with us here today. He's a comedian, the king of the IE. Give it up for Johnny Gold.
Hey. That was gay. Hi.
Hey, it's 2024.
Yeah, right. Accept me. Okay.
Well, Trump's back, so be quiet.
Right. Okay.
Anyways, Johnny, thank you for coming.
Oh, I'm not gay. Okay. Who cares? But go ahead.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, I appreciate it. You have a great home.
Thank you. I know. We had talked about this before. I've been wanting you on here. I think I mentioned you in a few episodes before, but thank you. He's finally fucking here, everybody.
Yeah.
I'd asked someone else to come out, but they couldn't make it, so I was like, I'm hit up Johnny last minute, and then he
Well,
fucking.
so I'm a second choice.
No,
then.
you're not a second choice, but I have a long list of people. That.
Well, who didn't want to come?
I'm not gonna mention his name.
It's a podcast.
Okay, it was Gil. Gil was supposed to come, but he didn't.
Gil from Horchataria?
Yes.
Oh, well.
I don't. Well, listen.
He's got a lot going on. He's lost his driver's license.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he tried to he tried to take some stuff from Tijuana that wasn't his, so he's now on the run. And you probably won't see him for a while, but
Oh,
no, I don't know.
he was
No,
smuggling fentanyl?
he distributes fentanyl to all the comics, and that's why Horchataria is so hot. No, yeah, I know he lives in Paramount, seriously.
No, he moved. Yeah, he moved. Yeah, you're right.
So that's kind of far.
Well, here's the truth. We had a Halloween episode that never released because something happened. There was technical difficulties. It wasn't
Right.
saved. So he's like, "Oh, I'd love to come back." So I wanted him to do this one, but
Oh, he came here before.
yeah,
Oh.
there's a lost episode. It's lost in my hard drive. I don't know computers. I asked some nerds. They didn't give a fuck to help me. So
Really?
something happened. It wasn't saved properly, so it
Right.
lost somewhere. But
Why didn't you lose the Leo episode? That would have been the one. That's the one you love. I feel like Leo, you know how when your battery doesn't work and he goes, I feel like that's what he does with his comedy. I feel like if we got one of those boosters that get the battery to move faster or get a better voltage for a battery, like a diesel truck battery, and put it in his fat ass, and maybe he'll get up there and talk like I call him. And I just came up with this. This is first time ever heard on a podcast. He is the Frankenstein of telling jokes.
I called him the Thorntonator.
Yeah, he is one of my favorite people, and I think he's so underrated. We did a show at 3 Iron Brewing.
Mhm.
We weren't even on the show, but they were so kind. Adrian Lopez and Juan Cias.
Yeah, I like them. Shout out Adrian. Shout out Juan.
Yeah, they're great. They go, hey, you want to do some time? And they gave everybody time. Like 3 or 4 people weren't even on the lineup. And he did so good. He has such good jokes. It's just he tells them in a pattern. He's either on some sort of barbiturate. Leo, are you on barbiturates? That could be your next podcast, Andy. Leo, getting off barbiturates. But he's such a talented kid. I love him.
Yeah. Something happened in his episode. Our mics went to shit.
Right.
That's why I had to go out and buy all new gear. So
Oh,
I'd love to have him back on again, but
well, do you really want to have him on? No.
no, he was cool too. He
He's
doesn't live
great.
too far from
No,
me.
he lives close. He lives in Fontana. His favorite hangout is the Bloomington Swap Meet, where you can see him probably, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can get hookers there for like a bag of Halloween candy and a hat.
Happy ending. Me love you long time.
Yeah. I don't even think they have those at the Bel Air Swap Meet
Oh,
in
trust me,
Fontana. Have you
so-
seen the Bel Air Swap Meet? I
Yeah,
passed
I've
it.
been there.
I go, I'm in Leo country.
It's-
What a shithole.
It's kind of sad now. Like it's dead there. Like there's
Yeah.
It's basically like a garage sale now. Like they
Yeah.
don't have good stuff anymore.
I was working. I was going down the street. I go, there's the Bel Air Swap Meet that Leo. Wow, Leo's town. It's like You know when they said the end of the world was coming in 2000, was it 12? Because I was going
Right.
out with this girl that literally thought the
Oh,
world
the
was.
Mayan calendar.
I'm not kidding. She was living with me in the house that I bought. We were both living together. It was fine. I loved her. It was cool. But she started like wanting to board the house up. I go, "Do you know this is $1 million house? Are you fucking?" She goes, "You know the end of the world's coming. Don't you believe in the end of the world?" And I go, "I've been with you for 8 years, so yes, I believe in the end of the world." She goes, "Just go out and get a water." I couldn't believe it.
How did she react in 2020?
She had moved out already,
Oh,
and
thank
she
God.
moved to Arkansas, and
Could you imagine living
no,
with her
she
then?
survived it. You know why? She was had obsessive compulsive. She
Always
always
cleaning.
walked. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
never got COVID. Nobody in my immediate family,
Oh,
wife,
that's
daughters,
crazy.
we never got vaccinated, never got sick.
God, you're smart.
And you know what's crazy is that like at work, I didn't wear masks at work. We're mandatory to wear masks.
Right.
Anytime fucking like the higher ups were around, took my mask off. I was around people who were. I think a lot of people faked being sick because they were
Well, you might have a good immune system, and
like
your kids do, and your wife does.
just a couple days. Like they're always sick. That's a lie. Because every like
No.
clockwork, they all get sick. But a couple days ago, I lost my voice. I don't know. I wasn't sick at all. My voice just went out, and
Right.
it barely came back today. Like thank God. I'm like I
Yeah,
don't.
I could hear it.
If I sound a little raspy, it's because I'm barely getting my voice
Are
back.
you
So.
sucking dick for stage time?
That's how I got
I've
that.
done that
That's how I got that
15
show.
years ago.
You've been in comedy for 15 years now.
No, I've been doing comedy. I mean, not consistently. I took 5 years off. I was trying to have a kid with my girlfriend that eventually moved out. I still loved comedy, but I was doing other things. I would say I have a total of about 15 years of stage experience. Plus, I was an actor before that.
Like
My parents were actors,
like
working actors.
like like a theater or
No,
like
like
in
I
movies and
did
stuff.
acting when I was a kid. I was in stage plays, and my parents were professional actors. I'd been around it my whole life. I always loved it. But when my parents got divorced, I hated it.
Hmm.
It's like every time I wanted to try acting or stand up, I just hated it because I thought it ruined my childhood. But now I'm over that. I'm 56 years old. I love it. I think
Have you ever acted
stand
in film or anything?
some short films and some stuff with my parents, but nothing.
Do you have an? Is there a Johnny Gold
No.
IMDb? Someone needs to make one.
Yeah, they should. No, there's nothing except I just been getting into real. Oh, by the way, let me put a footnote. Darby Cash is a troublemaker, as you saw in those comments. He made me do all that. Okay, it's all, hey Darby, you're found out. And if you have him on the podcast, I don't know, call the police. No, I'm just now getting into those reels,
Hmm.
which is weird. I never, I feel like it's just so ego driven.
Hmm.
But Darby and Angie Cunanan, she's a comic from,
Shout out Angie. I love
yeah,
Angie. I
Angie's
want to have
good.
her on soon too. She's
She's
she's my next female I want.
she is a fantastic individual, and so is Darby, and they know how to do the reels. And since they're Gen Z, they just know how to do everything. I've worked with them. I've learned a lot. My first reel from Chatterbox on the Sunday show got like 5,000 views. I was
Sick.
happy with that, but it's just it's weird. Like when you see yourself and then you're editing it, you're so picky.
Yeah.
Sometimes the material is great, but you're like, why did I wear
I've
those?
taken all my videos down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I don't think it's I'm just saying, like, people put up reels, you see them, because before I did reels, I looked at other reels. There would be some people by famous comics like Jamie Kennedy.
Mm.
He's just, I don't know what he's doing. It's why are you putting that up? Plus, he looks
I
horrible.
saw him at a horror convention and he was all bearded. He looks bummy. Like I guess the
He,
richer you get, the poorer you
I
look.
mean, he was, well, look,
I love his comedy though. His
I,
stand up is
I
funny.
I have no problem. I'm just saying, like, when you have a good set and you have a good reel, then you start looking at the clothes you wore. And you're like, why the fuck did I wear that sweater? Why is my hair look? Why did my teeth look fucked up? And then you're like, but after a while, you just say fuck it and put it on. But that's the future.
Yeah, I got self conscious of mine for the same reason. I took all mine down, so I know what you're talking about.
Well,
I judged myself a lot. Hey, I want to correct something. You know, you talk to me, you're like, oh, you shouldn't turn down shows. Correction. I've turned down a lot of bringer shows. I heard you talk about
Oh
this
yeah, good for you.
because
Darby Cash is, he loves bringer shows.
okay, I've been doing comedy almost 2 years now.
Right.
Just recently, the last I did a festival recently
Mm.
was the first time I got like more than 5 people to show up. You know,
What kind of festival?
it was a comedy festival in Rancho. I don't. It was a hip hop and comedy festival. It was. I don't
Oh.
remember the name of it, but they did the first half hip hop and then the last half. I said the raf. The last. I'm not talking Chinese in here. The last half was comedy, but I finally got people to come out. But a few times people hit me up from like LA, a lot of LA shows, like, hey, I would love to have you on.
Of
Bring
course.
bring 3 to 5 friends. I'm like, I don't even know 3 to 5
Yeah,
people.
that's a scam. I mean, some people, listen, I've gotten in trouble saying that bringer shows. I always think that a bringer show, like they're pimps. And
Yeah, and
you're,
they're not even comics. They're just literally
no,
just
they're just,
promoters.
well, I don't know because I've never done one. But I mean, I know, listen, if you get booked on a show, you you should promote the show you're on. I do. I post it. Well, excuse me. I do my stories. I tell people. I do the best I can. And sometimes people come out, but excuse me, I'm not gonna do a bringer show.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh, are
like.
you kidding me? Have you seen the comics on the bringer show?
I've
They're
never been
brand
to.
new. They're like Volt. They're they do something. I don't know what it is. It's like when you start out as a comic, and then these bringer shows, they make it attractive, like they think they're gonna make it,
Hmm.
and they're not. They're just gonna bring people, and they're gonna find out after a while. They just bring people, and then you're not getting anything out of it. You're doing like 6 or 7 minutes. I'd rather do 15 minutes at a mix mic in
Hmm.
Riverside because I can get better.
Yeah, because they were like, it was in LA, and to get parking out there, it's crazy
Yeah,
out there.
Andy, you shouldn't do
It
that.
was like a 2 hour drive. That's why I'm telling you, I've turned them down, but like I said, they're far. They're like 9 o'clock at night. I'm not driving that far. And then they're
Yeah.
like, bring 3 friends, and then they have to pay $20 to get in. I'm like, no one's gonna come to that shit
You
on a
know,
Tuesday.
it's funny. I don't know if you run into this, but most comics don't understand sarcasm. It's so funny. I've said so many horrible things that people think is actually true. And I'm like, when you go out and do comedy, you get away from all your problems and
Exactly.
right, and you're just trying to be free and you want to create something on stage. But sometimes you meet these people and you're just like, they're they're just, I don't know, they're so fucking serious, but not in a good way.
I'm very sarcastic, and it gets me in
Right.
trouble with my wife a lot. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, do you know what
Yeah.
sarc? She doesn't
Well, that's
understand
different.
it.
When you're sarcastic in regular life,
Oh,
then that can get you in trouble.
I do it a lot.
But with comics, it's fun.
And
Like,
I remember the first time I met you, we were at Worthington's, and you just sat next to me, and you were like, I didn't know who you were. You were just
oh.
sitting there, and you're like, who the fuck is this guy on stage? And I was like, I don't know. You're like, why is there so many fucking people?
I remember
And
that.
then there was a lot of signups that night, and you were going on late. You're like, where the fuck did all these people come
Yeah, I
from?
was amazed. I don't really do anything with the buddy system. I quit doing it ever since Nick Laney passed away.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
shout out Nick Laney,
yeah,
rest in
shout
peace.
out. Love you, man. We met with his parents, Carissa and I, at the Mission Inn, kind of celebrated Christmas. She rented a room upstairs. Her sister was visiting, or Nick's sister was visiting. And the whole thing was, I didn't like the way the buddy system, especially Aaron Chase and somewhat George Farito.
Who's Aaron Chase?
But he's the one that was here. I don't think you were doing comedy. He kind of started the buddy system
Mhm.
supposedly. Really, it was some Stephanie Michelle. You know Stephanie
Yeah,
Michelle?
I met her. I want to have her
She
on
was at
too.
the Christmas party too. She really, what was that?
Oh no, there's just something on my computer.
Oh
Continue.
no, I thought we were being recorded by the
No,
government. I pay all my taxes. No, are we all right?
yeah, you're good.
Okay. Um.
Keep talking.
Oh, no, no problem. Well, what I was saying was, Aaron Chase was the one who started the buddy system with Stephanie Michelle, and then George came along, then William, and then Carlos. But Aaron Chase moved to Chicago, so uh, and Nick wasn't really treated the way I thought, a kind person like Nick. You knew Nick, right?
Yeah, that's the last time I talked to him was at the buddy system. I used telling me about his like a headlining show he just done,
Oh, that's cool.
and then that was and then he passed about a week later after
But
right after.
wasn't he kind?
Yeah, I know Nick.
Yeah, he's a pure joy. He was one of my like family, man. He was
Mm.
just I liked him because I'm against drinking, I'm against drugs. Uh, b- is the podcast gonna work? Or are we
Yeah,
gonna?
it's fine. I'm
Oh,
I'm just watching it.
okay. Um, I believe that he just got used by some people out here. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know how bad it was until one day we were talking. He goes, "When I make it, I will never claim the Inland Empire." And Hector Lara said something, and Hector Lara was close with Nick. And he says, "Yeah, you weren't treated right." And Nick would always push back. He goes, "No, that wasn't it." But really, what he wanted to say is the buddy system can go fuck themselves. But you know why he didn't say it? Because this is what he told me. He goes, "Listen, I don't want any problems with people. I want just to get along with people and do my work. That's all I want." And I really respected him for that. But now that he's gone, I would never go back to the buddy system because I personally think they're kind of standoffish people. They're not very supportive of new comics. And the last thing I'll say is they don't do stand up comedy. It's fucking amateur hour. And that's it. Besides that, uh,
I don't know him that well,
I
so
know, I know. The reason I bring it up on every podcast. This will probably be the last podcast. No one. I'll still bring it up. Because they're the leaders supposedly of the scene in the Inland Empire.
I called you the king of the IE. I guess I
Well,
should call
no,
you.
no, I don't do any. I do shows in the IE, but more so in LA and down that way now because I will never go back there because I feel like I have to make a stand for Nick and I loved him that much and I just don't like to be around people that treat younger comics bad and that's what they do.
Yeah, I've gotten cold shoulders from a lot of like I said, 10-year comics. You're a cool one
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
There's
Which is stupid.
like I said, I just stick to myself. I'll try
I
to be cool with
know.
everyone. I don't.
You're nice. Remember, you used to take pictures of me, like when I got home, the boomerang.
Yeah, I do that to everybody. I try to
I,
support people.
yeah, I go, man, that's so cool. Okay, we sit in the back and we talk shit about comics that are on stage. That happens to me. People talk shit about me, how old I am, or whatever the fuck they want to. I don't give a fuck. But in the end, we have to be nice to each other. We have to support. If a young comic wants to come up to you, Andy, and go, "Hey, it's my first day. Where do I sign up?" and you fucking act like the buddy system. I'm from New York. If that was in New York, they would have got stabbed. I'm not kidding.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's fucking bad. You just want to. Everybody should help everybody. That's how I feel, and that's what I do.
That's why I have this podcast to bring people on, give them
Yeah, it's
platforms,
great.
get to know people.
But fuck the buddy system. Go ahead. What do you want to ask?
I actually give the buddy system a lot of praise because they're one of the places I started at. So like
Right.
I don't have any beef with the guys because I don't
Yeah.
know them. But
No,
whatever,
I know.
if you have whatever issues, that's
I don't.
okay.
Beef is not the word. I just don't fuck with amateurs, and they're
Well,
but
I'm an
they're
amateur.
no. Let me explain. They're amateurs have been doing comedy over 10 years.
I don't know that.
You just started out,
I'm almost 2 years in.
right? They've been doing it for 10 years. Exception of Carlos. Carlos is different. I love Carlos. The stuff he said about Nick was beautiful at our memorial. I've always liked Carlos. I think he's a great dad. And I don't have a problem with Will at all, really. Uh, but George and Aaron Chase, to me, it's just sickening. And I will tell every comic when they ask me about their scene, I will go, don't talk to them. Just go down, sign up. They have a nice room down there at the back to the
Yeah, I
grind.
love that place.
It's great. Don't talk to them. Do your time and get the fuck out and go to another mic like Chatterbox or CK. I know you were at CK. That's my
I
favorite.
fucking bombed there.
Well, you know what I like about CK is that it's kind of I like a late night mic because I started before like around the time MySpace was out.
You damn.
Yeah. So I was used to staying out till 2 in the morning. And plus, I live a very clean, healthy lifestyle, so I can get up and go to work. I don't have a problem with it. Now, if you're getting high and drunk and I know you have to be to work early, it's tough to go out, dude.
I've only gotten drunk twice, and
Right.
now I limit to just
But you know what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
I limit it now to just one before and one after.
Right.
I've gotten drunk just waiting. You know, you're number 30, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just killing time drinking beers. And before I notice, I'm fucking drunk. Like, oh shit.
Like Ricky Molina, who I gave a flask to.
That he came here with a flask. He was fucking drunk in my
Well,
podcast.
I gave him the flask because he was just uh, carrying I don't know, one of those little bottles. I don't think it's even it's pint, maybe a pint. And I go, dude, is that I'm gonna get. So I went in the liquor store by my house and got him a flask.
Yeah.
I love Ricky. I think Ricky is just a genuine, good looking. I like his style. It's kind of punk rockish.
Yeah. He came here drunk, and then he had to like piss in the middle of the fucking
Yeah, he
podcast.
said he woke up drunk. I've watched all your episodes.
Yeah, that's when I was crazy when I seen you comment. I was like, Johnny Gold's listening to my
Of
fucking
course.
podcast.
Well, first of all, I love podcasts.
Me too. I'm a
I
huge fan.
I think podcasts, you know, you just talk into a camera or no camera, and the audience is not ruining it. You're just saying what you feel. You know how you do shows? My friend Carissa Gomez did a show, and you know how you could see the audience?
Hmm.
Really the best way to do comedy is with a spotlight on you and you can't really see the audience. You can just feel the energy. But when you see the audience, and she said somebody gave her a look about her comedy, or at Grey Wolf when I performed and I didn't do good, people were just like this, mean. Here on the podcast, you can do comedy, you can say things, and nobody, whoever listens to it, they can get mad if they want, but I don't have to deal with it.
Exactly.
What were they going to put a comment? Oh, Johnny Gold. Oh, okay,
Fuck
fine. Oh,
Johnny.
yeah. You could put fuck Johnny Gold. I don't care because I'll just turn my phone off. But if you're at a live show and somebody says fuck Johnny Gold, it might be a problem. So that's why
Yeah.
I love podcasts.
What I like about podcasts is just you get to. It feels like you're like the people who are listening. You like they're in the conversation with you.
Yeah, it's great.
I like I like comedy podcasts because I love comedians, and then just to sit and see how they are.
I hate comics that have podcasts that, oh shit.
You're breaking my shit, Johnny.
No, I just dropped my water. I hate comics that have comedy podcasts that don't talk about comedy.
I try to talk about
No, I
comedy.
know you could talk about other things too, but if let's say it's an hour, it better be at least a half hour of comedy.
I try to talk about comedy, but this isn't scripted, so the conversations just
Right.
go left side,
Yeah.
right. Like they go so many different
Well,
directions.
you know, who has a good podcast is Melissa Nami.
Yeah, I love her podcast too. I don't know who that guy is. I've never seen it.
Oh,
Is he a
no, he's a musician.
Hold on one second. Technical difficulties.
What happened?
I think the laptop's not charging.
Oh, is that thing on? Usually, is that thing lit up? Is the camera still on?
It's the laptop.
Oh shit, that's not good. I guess you'll have to edit this part. Or not.
It's never happened to me before, so I don't know.
Oh shit. Usually when you have a surge protector,
I don't know what's going on.
oh shit. Oh, it just the power just went out. There you go.
I don't know what the fuck that was. All right.
Oh, we're back. All right.
And we're back. Sorry, the laptop wasn't plugged in. I didn't know.
He
So
doesn't. Andy doesn't know how to use a plug.
no, the something happened to the fucking the what is that thing called? The power
Surge
supply.
protector.
It didn't fucking if the thing's running, I just had to
Yeah,
plug it.
but the light is supposed to be on.
It is on because
Oh, is it?
it's powering the.
Do you think that somebody is hacking in like the buddy system? Because I told them they're cunts.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, they're like,
I hate editing shit out, but I'll crop that out. Anyways,
leave it on. It's kind of exciting. But Leo's not the only one who can ruin a podcast. I guess I did too.
this is the second pod I did with the new equipment, so bear with me. I'm still learning.
Oh
This
no,
shit.
it's fine. Dude, come on, Andy.
I didn't realize. I thought it was plugged in, but something's wrong with that thing. But anyways,
But now it's working.
supposedly we're back.
Is this recording?
Yes.
Okay.
It didn't stop recording.
That's cool.
It just gave me the warning sign that the battery was dying. But,
Don't you love Selena Johnson?
oh yeah, I had her on last time.
Yeah, no, I know. I know all your podcasts.
Ever
of
since
people.
I met her, I was like, damn, this girl right here is gonna fucking.
She's
gonna
killed
make
it at fucking Chatterbox. Her, Selena Johnson, and then her friend. Oh God, she's gonna kill me. I forgot her name. She's got a great laugh. They do a podcast together.
Yeah, she mentioned her, but I don't-
Sabrina Contreras.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
never met her.
they hosted their fucking asses off, man. First time at the open mic. After the show was over, I went behind there where they give people the light at Chatterbox. I said, "You guys killed it." They were really nervous.
Yeah, she like progressed so quick. I told her like I'm proud of you. Like she's went from just open mic, now she's a host, and then she's doing her podcast. She's killing it.
She was on the Sunday show that I did at Chatterbox. She
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, and I saw that, but I was gonna go, but I remember I was doing something. I can't remember. Was it this last past Sunday?
The first one she did was the first one I did, and she went first, and I think I went second.
That was the first time you did Chatterbox.
On Sunday. I've done two of them.
Um,
I just, yeah, I mean, I wasn't really going down there religiously. So,
yeah, me neither. I don't stick.
but
to
now I do. I love it. It's great. I've very grateful for Steve Hernandez and Julie and Scott Lors and
I love that place.
yeah.
I don't stick to one spot. I move around a lot. Just trying
Yeah,
to keep the cycle.
I go where people have me. I was supposed to do a show on Huntington Beach, but I guess the pizza place closed down.
I talked about it in the last episode, but I didn't want to mention it. But I
Yeah.
was gonna go out after the holidays, and then
Oh.
I heard that they're like shut down. So I was like, oh, I guess not.
Yeah, that was weird because I noticed that all these comics were doing shows there, and I thought this is the beginning of the end. You can't have that much comedy during the week and have the place stay open. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, because I talked to the guy. He invited me out a few times.
Oh, that's cool.
I just
Was it
had-
Gabriel Gomez?
No, his last name's Martinez.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Rick Martinez?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. They had so many. I did it.
I think it might be related to that guy. I hit him up, and then we talked for a bit, but I didn't really get into it. But I think he's from my mom's side of the family. Because
Who is that?
that's my neighbors. Should I
You
close the
can
window?
fucking hear your neighbors that close?
Should I close the window?
No, fuck it.
This episode is already having all these fucking problems.
This is our New Year's Eve episode.
hell yeah.
And
I'm leaving all this shit in. Fuck it. This
yeah,
is raw.
it's
This
cool.
is
Yeah,
live.
it's live. The neighbors are causing problems, but we're still here. In
It's
your,
because I opened the window.
is this your master bedroom?
Yes.
This is where the magic happens.
No magic here. I'm married, Johnny Gold. Come
Well,
on.
that doesn't. Your wife is charming, and your kids are very well behaved. And
I'm
your,
just
your
kidding.
carpet's a little dirty, but that's okay. If you come to my house,
My shampoo. My
You
my
don't look
shampoo
at my
broke.
don't look at my fucking tile. I got that gray tile. All the white grout that used to be bright white is now the same color as the tile.
I try to keep it clean. It's hard. You need like a fucking
yeah,
steamer.
no, you need you need a house cleaner, a house.
I know all my neighbors have those.
Yeah, I
they have
don't-
little Mexican ladies that come.
Yeah, I
clean,
can't
and
do that.
I just do it myself. I don't
You
want
mean
to
like a little slave coming over?
like little
your-
Filipinos or little Mexican ladies. They come through here, and then they have the little buckets and everything.
Yeah, I guess I should, but I feel like I can do it myself.
Yeah, me too. And I just don't want a stranger in my house, like going through your shit. Or
Yeah.
I don't know, you know.
I remember when my girlfriend moved to Arkansas. This guy I met at Starbucks. This is just a year before COVID. He asked me if he could what is it? Airbnb one of my rooms. I said absolutely fucking not. I had a fucking raging. My girlfriend rented a room to a raging alcoholic. He was a pharmaceutical salesman. I didn't know he was an alcoholic. This motherfucker knocked on my door at 3 in the morning and goes, I need to go to the hospital. I go, okay. What the fuck? What? He goes, yeah, I have alcohol poisoning. This is how bad the hospitals. I took him to somewhere off the 60 in Central, and I wheeled his ass up to the emergency room. They told him to stand outside. There was too many people. Yeah, it took me about 2 months to get him out of the 2 months to get him out of the house. So I'm never gonna have anybody
Yeah,
like
living with
air.
people is hard.
No, I don't like the Airbnb or if there's a friend of mine I knew that needed a place to stay, I've offered.
Especially in California where they have squatters' rights, and then
Yeah.
they could evict you out of your own fucking house.
Well, I offered James Jablonski if he wanted to have his family stay in my room. I had some extra room. I love James, and I would offer, I think Ezekiel. No, I would offer them. I'm not talking about a guy that I met at Starbucks. No, no.
Yeah, because I've seen things like on TV where it's like rental nightmares, where they'll rent out the room to somebody, and then they just start acting up, doing stupid
Yeah,
shit, making you feel uncomfortable in your own house.
dude.
And then they could even go to the point where they can get like a restraining order on you, and then you got to be out of your own fucking house. Like,
That's exact. You know what happened? Like I had gotten everybody out of my house, and I was happy with that, except this motherfucker. One day he couldn't figure out the code to get in the house. It's a computer code. It doesn't have a key.
mm,
And he was drunk. So you know what he did? He went in my backyard,
broke your
took a
window.
brick and threw it through the window. Then we called the cops, and you know what he told the cops? He goes, "This is my house." And the cop goes, "Well, he says it's his house, sir." I go, "I can get the title and show you that it's not. Are you okay? How are you are you the one
The
that?"
cops don't give a fuck.
No, I was like, "Did you?" This is before George Floyd, but I could see this guy killing George Floyd. He was such an idiot.
It's because they don't care. If it's a civil matter, they don't care. That's what I'm telling you. The
Yeah,
squatter rights in California are fucking ridiculous.
but you know what happened? He, I called one of his friends. His friends convinced him to go into rehab. So he left and did not come back for like 2 or 3 weeks. I went into his room. Andy,
Crack
this,
needles,
no, worse than crack. I wish it was crack.
piss jugs.
This, everything, this much trash before you could hit the carpet.
He was a fucking what do they call them? Hoarders.
I don't know what he was. He was putting cigarettes out on the carpet, and
You
he
never walked by his room and seen it. You just kept it
I
closed.
think I saw it once. Dude, I was working doing comedy. I didn't give a fuck. He was nice.
Mm.
But I didn't know he had a major alcohol problem. He had about he hid bottles of alcohol. I found him when he left all over the yard and under my couch.
Yeah, he's a
Even
hoarder for sure.
yeah, and then I went to Home Depot and got these big thick trash cans. 12 of them I filled up. These are carpet ones that they do for houses, and a lot of it was empty bottles. But then there would be like new Beat headphones and like $500 clothes. So I packed it up. He came over. I said, "Take that fucking shit out of." He goes, "Hey, did I get any mail?" I go, "Dude, you ever come back here? I'm gonna call the cops because now you're out of my house." And he did get mail. You know what I did with his mail? I burned it. And then so he's
He had
out.
court summonings and you fucking.
Oh fuck, dude.
I just got a court summonings. I'm like, fuck, man. I haven't got one so long. You know, to do jury duty.
Oh yeah.
I fucking hate those damn letters. Now it's like a postcard.
I don't talk about that on podcasts. I love the courts. I think OJ is guilty. I thought the Menendez brothers should stay in prison. I don't fuck with that shit. I don't fuck with that and the IRS. I pay the IRS every month $700. So
Hey, you own your own business and everything?
yeah,
That's nice. You
yeah.
have no kids, never been married?
No. Oh no, I've been married.
Wait, how long ago was that?
Well, I've been in so many long relationships. I've never really been a person that's dated. Like
Um,
I'll meet a girl and go out with her for 15 years.
I was
I
gonna
just
say
hit
you sound like every single mom with 3 kids dream right now.
it.
He's a silver fox. He owns his own business. He owns his
Yeah,
own home.
I know.
Listen, ladies, if you got 3 or 4 kids, stay away from Johnny Gold. He
Right.
don't want your
No, I
problems.
don't want any problems.
Would you ever date a woman with kids? Have you ever done that
Of
before?
course, I've been a stepdad before.
Never.
Yeah.
Never in my life would I ever.
Well, I mean, it was weird. The last person I dated a girl. I wasn't married or anything. She had an autistic kid when I was 27 years old. And I fell in love with that kid. I love kids. I l- he loved professional wrestling, and I have to admit, I was partying back then. One time I
You just
went
come home drunk and beat him up.
no, no, one time I went to a party and they had Everclear, which is like moonshine.
Hmm.
They injected it into watermelons. Dude, it was a Halloween party and I went as Axl Rose and I put a flashlight down by my penis and it was so bad. I had a hangover for 3 days. One day I woke up and this kid was on top of his bunk bed and he imitated one of the wrestlers and he came down on me like that. But he was
He
a
gave you the
good,
people's elbow.
yeah, he was a great kid. I just didn't like the young lady. She was just very demanding. And at
That's
20,
why you don't date a woman with kids because then
yeah, I
you
know.
you fall in love with the kid and then
Right.
it doesn't work out with them and then
Yeah.
now you're like
Then I saw the
heartbroken.
kid after I broke up and he was like, "Oh, are you coming back?" And I was like, no, your
See,
mom
you
is
get the
yeah, she moved to Texas, thank goodness. She called me one day and she goes, "I'm moving to Texas." I go, "Good luck." But this is the fucked up thing, Andy. This kind of fucking freaked me out. She tried to kill herself.
jeez.
So I freaked out and I wanted to go visit her at the hospital, but I was not going out with her.
Hmm.
But I called her from a payphone and they patched me through to her hotel room. And I talked to her. I said, "Rebecca, are you okay?" She goes, "Well, obviously not. I tried to kill myself." And this is how selfish I was. I go, "Was it because we broke up?" Just to ask that. And she goes, "A lot of it was part of that." And I was like, "Great. Now I feel like shit."
Yeah, that's crazy.
You really move around a
I
lot on
I
the
when the
podcast.
when the shit went down, I lost my phone. I was looking for it.
And now your fucking flashlight's on like a 90-year-old
See,
old.
see, that's what happened when I had the technical difficulties. I
Well,
was trying to see if the thing was plugged in.
it,
Johnny Gold, I'm telling you something. You're making me nervous. You're intimidating me. So
I
I
was,
want everything to go right, and everything is going
dude, I
wrong.
love you. I don't give a. We're all the same.
No, I'm just kidding. Like it's just because I've had
Ugh.
difficulties on the pod in the past, and I'm like,
You-
please don't happen
Listen, the
again.
only podcast that was horrible was Leo's. Leo, you suck.
No,
Just kidding. I love you, Leo.
we're leaving all this shit in. I'm not cutting none of this. People are gonna listen to the silence when I'm trying to figure out
Well,
the
here's the
topics.
thing. I love listening to only podcasts that my friends are on. People go, "Why don't you listen to Andrew Schultz?" I was talking to George Guzman. You know George Guzman?
Yeah,
Should have him on. He's a great guy. He does an imitation.
he don't book me, so I'm not booking him. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you can bring that up on the pod. That's good podcast material.
I
Hey,
just did it right now.
George, he does the
I want to
best.
do acapella at a pizza place.
Yeah. Oh God, I bombed so bad. And Leo told me right after I got off stage, he goes, "You were an actor. You weren't projecting." I go, "I'm gonna kill you." Uh, but he does the best imitation of Andrew Schultz. We had a party at the House of Pong, end of the year party with some comics, and George Guzman was saying that he can't stand. I don't want to put words in his mouth. We were talking about Andrew Schultz, and he does the imitation of him doing crowd work. I was laughing so hard.
How do you feel about crowd work?
Um, I think it's necessary if you're doing more than 20 minutes. Like if you're engaging, I did a 25, 20 minute set at that Have you ever gone to the Improv Redlands, Mike?
No,
It was pretty good. Dude, that is the
that's
fastest.
at a church or something,
No,
right?
no, it's a storefront.
Oh, I thought it was a church. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
No, it used to be a kind of a church. They moved
It
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 to
looks like
Tennessee Avenue in Redlands.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a storefront. It's beautiful. And if you meet the guy Edwin, he has a monthly show. So I got to headline the monthly show and they videotaped me. Some of my clips are going to be up. I did like 20, 25 minutes. Then Ant Jr., who I love, he showed up. He's great. I didn't even do crowd work in 20 minutes, but I could see if you're doing an hour, maybe you might want to talk to the audience because that's a lot of
Yeah, it
time.
makes them feel like they're a part of the show.
Right. But this shit that you see on Instagram, like, hey, what do you do for a living? You're like, I mean, they ask you that like if you have a dinner party at your house and I've had done a bunch of dinner parties and you meet somebody and you go, hey, you're Heather's friend. What do you do for a living? Not at a comedy show. I feel like you get, if you're paying a lot of money to see comedy and the guy's asking you what you do for a living, unless you're skilled at it, like there's a lot of comics that are skilled at it. I some of the names I can't remember, but
Big
they're
J's pretty good at
Big
it.
J, and there's another guy, a big white dude. He's famous for it. That's all they do is crowd work. That's different. That's their thing.
Yeah,
So that's cool. I'm talking about people that do it for those reels, and
yeah.
it's not my cup of tea. But if you do it, what am I going to do? I'll just sit in the back and think.
Have you heard of Kenny Flores? I think or Ken
Yeah,
Flores.
yeah, Ken Flores.
A lot of his reels are crowd work where he's fucking around with the audience.
Right.
And then I went to go see him, and he didn't do any crowd work. It was all material. He's a
Mm.
fucking great writer.
Yeah,
Like
he's great.
I was just
From Chicago.
yeah, I was expecting to see crowd work.
Yeah,
And
because you see it. Well,
he didn't do any.
I think those reels for Ken Flores, I don't know him at all, but I'm pretty sure they're to make people come see him.
I wrote to him after I saw him. I was like, "Your fucking writing was amazing. Like
Oh, that's
all his
cool.
bits were great. Like I said,
Yeah.
I was expecting crowd work and no crowd work at all. I was
Yeah,
like,
he
what the
does a
fuck?
lot of stuff about his life.
Yeah, he does a lot of fat jokes, like shit I could relate to. You know.
Yeah, it does a lot of, I know he was on drugs I hope he quit drugs. I know he had health
Yeah, he's
problems.
lost some weight. Yeah, he's looking slimmer and stuff. But
I
yeah,
know he had some bad health problems.
yeah,
I think he's great on podcasts.
yeah, he's fucking crazy stories.
Uh, I don't, Jeff Garcia is interesting. He does crowd work.
Mhm.
I don't know him very well, but
Hey, he picked me to let me do one of his. I
he
did a
does
cold
that a
open.
lot for young comics, which is great.
See,
He did it for George Guzman too, and he did it for you, and he's done it for a lot of people.
yeah, because he was doing crowd work and I went by myself. I go a lot of comedy by myself,
Okay.
and he was
I've
just.
noticed that you just,
That's why I said.
and then you creepily take pictures of everybody and then go home.
Well, like I said, I like.
Do
to
you
show
have all
people-
these pictures somewhere? No.
Yeah,
Oh, there they are.
they're in my phone. No, but he started doing crowd work and he was going in on me, and I'm like, fuck, like, what do I do? Like,
Going in on you? What?
he was just doing like, why, like, cause I was alone. Like, why are you alone? Like, just like,
Oh, you mean you weren't on the show with him?
no, I was in the audience
Oh, shit.
on the first show,
Oh, okay.
and then he was
Where
just
was it?
at the Improv, the Ontario Improv,
Oh, okay.
and he was making fun of me because I was by myself, blah blah blah. And then I was like, yeah, I do comedy too. And he's like, oh yeah, when's your next show? And I was like,
Oh.
oh, in a few weeks. He's like, what about tonight? And I was like, huh? Like, what do you mean? He's like, my next show, I want you to open for me. And I was like, fuck yeah.
You mean the 10 o'clock show?
Yeah, that was like 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was drunk already. And he was like, he ordered me a beer. And I was like, oh, fuck. So
Yeah, he likes to
I
drink.
ended up passing the beer to some random person, but I had to like sober up. And Adrian was like, oh, you're going to do a cold open. I'm like, what the hell is that? I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
And he's like, I was only like 6 months in. And he was
Sure.
like,
Oh, shit.
just go on there and do 3 minutes and get the fuck off stage. I was like, okay. Like,
Well, that sounds fun.
and they did it with the house lights on. So it was awkward.
Oh, like as people were coming in.
No, the crowd was already there. Like,
With the house lights on? God, that's ridiculous.
I don't know, but I did. I felt fucking. It was amazing. Thank you for the opportunity. I got to
Sure.
perform in front of a sold out show
That's
6
cool.
months.
How did
ago.
it go?
It was great. I wanted footage of it, but like you have to ask corporate or something. So I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
It's like
I think Jeff Garcia is a very nice. He's always been very nice. to
he
me.
hangs out around at mics. Like he's been at the Feed the Funny mics and he hangs
Yeah.
out. Like he's cool.
Mhm.
I'd love to have him on. If you're not probably not listening, he follows this. He follows it.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, hell yeah, thanks for the follow.
Yeah, I mean, I love Jeff, and his kids are funny too.
I heard his son does comedy. I
Yeah.
met him that night, but I didn't know he did comedy.
I saw his son do crowd work. It was weird.
Like father like son.
Well, shit. What did I do? Oh, I stepped on the cord. Yeah, he was very good. You could see where he gets his talent.
I didn't know. He looked like a young kid, like he was still in high
Yeah,
school. Is he
he-
still in high school?
I don't no, I don't think so. I no, he works. He said I think he works at Chili's. I hope that's not right. But I'm sorry, man. I
Chili's
don't even
baby back
I
ribs.
don't even know his name, but I did see him and he's very pleasant.
Yeah, I just met him that night. He introduced me to his son, and I was like, okay, nice to meet you. And then
That's so cool. And did he think you did good? Excuse me.
I didn't talk to him after that because once I
Did
went
you
on,
go back to the green
I
room?
went to the green room and he told me, yeah, do your time, and then I said thank you, blah blah blah, and then I went and did my set, and then they invited me back, but I wanted to watch him again, so he performed, and then I ended up I said thank you after I just quick, like, because everybody's like trying to talk to him and shit, you know.
Right, in that
So
little green
so
room.
I was just like, thank you for the opportunity, appreciate you, and then I just walked away. But I left it
That's
at that, you know. I'm not gonna fucking
that
fanboy
was
over
so
him.
cool. I think Carlos Mencia did that too to people like, "Oh, you're a comic, come on up in due time." That's very
I
generous.
wish more people would do that.
Yeah, I think Jeff Garcia really helps. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm speaking out of turn. I really don't know him. He knows
I've
me.
heard other people talk about him, and then
Right.
nothing but nice things to
Right.
say about him. So like,
I don't know.
he's cool in my book. But I'm
Yeah.
friends with I think, like I told you, you know, the guy who runs a pizza spot,
Pizza
the
spot.
one that's supposedly shutting down. Jeff was out there doing shows out there too, but the one that's shutting down, the pizza one in Orange County.
Oh, Polly's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had opened there. I was gonna go to see him, but I didn't end up going. I went to the Laugh Factory one instead, but it was pretty cool.
Laugh Factory in Covina.
Hmm. That place is beautiful.
It is. It's like an old theater.
I
I
heard
did a show in there when the air conditioning was broke.
I did a
Oh my
show with
goodness.
no air conditioning at a bar in Pomona.
Oh, what
Horrible.
what bar?
I don't even remember. It was some fucking
They
random.
got some crazy. I think I there was a bar called Characters.
I heard that one. Yeah.
God, that
This
is.
place next door had a Mexican place,
Oh, okay.
and all you hear is bum, 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 bum. You're like, so my penis is small. Bum, 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 bum. Like in the background, it's all you hear is like the whatever music was going on, and then there was no air conditioning. It was horrible.
There were some good rooms in Pomona. I don't think there's.
That's the sad part. Is a lot of places are like no longer doing mics. Like
Yeah,
the Claremont mic was cool. I like that one. And
the
then
pizza place.
yeah,
That guy was the tall, skinny white guy was great, but the owners, I don't know. Darby and 7 and 7 and Josh and uh, I'm pretty sure there's other and Owen Parker, great guy. I'm pretty sure they did their best, but when you're not really so, that place is hard to do comedy in, man.
hell yeah.
You'd be up there sometimes and you'd look out and go, why the fuck am I talking? Because it
Nobody's
reminds
listening.
me of a lot of these rooms that you do that's the great thing about Back to the Grind because they got to listen to you.
I did one when Gibby did the mic there.
Oh, yeah, that's the first time I did it.
He was doing a Christmas show, and just before the Christmas show, a hair salon was like rented it out for like a company party.
Oh, I heard about that.
And then I just went to watch, and I ended up people canceled, and then Gibby's like, "Hey, you want to do 10 minutes?" And I was like, "Sure." And I went on second. Well, Gibby hosted, and then I went on first. I fucking murdered that room.
Oh,
It was
nice.
a lot of African American women, and I murdered that fucking room. And then the next dude went up, and then people started leaving during his set. I felt bad for him.
Oh,
I'm like,
shit.
I don't know if I set the bar or they were just like, all right, we're over this. And yeah, that I murdered that room one time because
That was cool.
it was a full house. Like people were actually there. Like it was like this
Right.
company party. They decided to stick around.
What time do you get up for work? You said 3 in the morning?
Hmm.
Oh, what days do you get off?
I'm supposed to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off, but I always work overtime. So
So do you ever get just 2 days off?
well, this weekend I have Thursday and Friday off. So
Oh,
yeah.
good. Oh, Thursday, Friday, today's Monday. That's cool.
Yeah, I have to fucking drive to Orange County because my wife's gonna spend New Year's with her family. So, yeah,
Now, where do you work far from here or
it's probably like 20 minutes away.
so it's in the Inland Empire?
I work in Fontana. I work in the same
Oh
city.
shit.
I'm over here doxing myself. People already know where I live already.
They'll never find this
He
place.
work. Yeah, you never. I told you when you got here. I always tell everybody when they get here.
I actually
Call me.
found it.
Call me when you get here.
I was behind in the garage.
I always tell. I don't know. It's confusing. The GPS sucks here.
Well, how did Ricky find it being drunk? That's what
He didn't.
Hey,
He was on the other side. Like he got Ubered here, and the Uber dropped him off way over there. And I had to walk to go
you
find him.
mean not the gate that you go through, but the other
Yeah,
gate.
he was just wandering around
Dude,
somewhere.
I've gone to a gate. I went to this guy's house and the gate code didn't work. I couldn't get in, so I had to wait for somebody to open the door and the guy goes, "Hey man, you got to put the code in." I go, "Dude, I put that fucking code in
Yeah,
16 times."
they
I go,
changed
"I don't give a fuck about your apartment complex. I'm just trying to get in."
they change our gate code like every 3 months. So,
Right.
and unless
Can't people just hop over the fence?
I guess we
How
had
long have you lived here?
3 years.
Oh,
We had this one homeless dude in here one time.
oh, that's cool.
He followed somebody home, and then they like quickly shut the door, and then they have a ring, and he started flashing his wiener to the ring camera.
Oh,
So in the neighborhood, like I guess there's like a neighborhood watch like
yeah.
chain,
Isn't that
like
called Neighbor Watch or some bullshit?
I don't know, but they're going around sending this image of this black dude, and the blur was pretty huge.
At least the guy
I
had.
was like, can I get this uncensored for educational purposes?
That's fucking.
But I'd seen that dude. I'd seen him around, and then I
So
was
he's
like,
just wandering around.
yeah, I don't fucking know,
Maybe
but
he's trying to. I mean, this is a nice place. Maybe he's trying to find a nice area to sleep.
I seen him a few times, and then after the incident, the flashing incident, I never saw him again. But that was funny. So yeah, people, I think you could just walk in when the
Was it
gate opens.
seven?
No,
No, no, he doesn't have that big a
no,
penis.
he was a larger man. 7. I love 7. Shout out 7. Sorry I can't make it to your show tonight, Johnny.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. It is New Year's Eve.
yeah, Johnny's got a show
I
tonight.
got to go to a ghetto part of Fontana. Did you say Cherry Street? Oh, Cherry and Sierra. That's where you can get hookers for like $1.50, and probably get some nice lids too.
It's is it for like a birthday party or it's Owen's birthday or something?
That's a great question. And
I saw
it's
their little promo video for I can't remember.
yeah, they really like the videos and the
I was like, is it Owen's blissing? Is he Jewish or something?
no, Owen. He got a new car and probably he's going to get a lot of pussy now, so we're not going to see him.
Hey, you can see him around the local high schools doing
I turned his
circles.
engine light off and it went right back on with my computer. I was like, "Oh fuck."
What kind of car does he have?
The Toyota Corolla is really nice.
I thought he'd be like a '94 Civic hatchback or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Going circling around the high schools trying to pick up chicks.
So what's your next step for comedy? Are you going to get out there more?
Well,
Or, I
yeah.
know your schedule and your kids and
Well,
it's a lot, man.
my oldest daughter is about to turn 16, so I'm about to have a babysitter. So, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm gonna make it more out there. I have
You have 3 kids, right?
no, just two,
Oh, okay.
two daughters. Uh, I'm gonna starting January. I got my first show. I'm like I said last year.
Where is it at?
It's in Corona, Expadas. It's a
Oh, that's in the nice part of Corona,
yeah.
right?
It's
I
nice.
saw it before that Mario Reyes.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah,
Mario.
because I wanted to go see Jason Ellis.
Yeah,
You were I know.
I went there to watch, and then Mario gave me time, so I was like, hell yeah, that's a
I
good
don't
show.
know Mario. I've seen him before. I don't know him at all. I just wanted to see Jason Ellis. The
I've seen
only
him like 3 times. He
I
follows me too.
yeah, the only professional skateboarder I've ever met is Chad Muska.
He used to skate, and I'm from Claremont. You know the Pomona colleges?
Yeah.
He did some videos there back in the day.
I met him because my dad, rest in peace, he rented a room for 40 years behind the Comedy Store, below a mansion. I don't know how the fuck he got this. It's fucking beautiful. And when I was out of the military, I was homeless for a while. I stayed with him. And then I moved out. I got
You
up.
live with Chad Muska?
No, no, this is my dad lived. I'll tell you the story.
Oh,
That was a horrible start to the story. My dad rented a room from a person that had a mansion. He rented the bottom part of the house. It was like a maid's quarter. It didn't have a kitchen. When I used to visit him when my parents were divorced for the summer, we had to do the pots and pans in the tub. Yeah, it was weird, but
he sounds like your ex-roommate.
yeah, no, but my dad was cool. But anyway, uh, years later, he was still living there, but I was living in Long Beach or somewhere, and he wasn't answering the phone, and I freaked out. I thought something happened to my dad because he was getting older.
Mm.
So I drove up to Hollywood, and I tried to break in the house because I heard my dad, he liked to listen to music. He played the piano. I go, shit, the music's on, but why the fuck isn't he answering? And then here's this kid and it was Chad Muska. He walks up my dad's driveway. He had a private driveway. And he goes, I don't think he's home. And I go, that's my dad. He goes, oh, he's okay. I saw him. I go, who are you? He goes, I'm Chad Muska. I do skateboarding. And he rented a house above the other house. And he had this Cadillac that he was doing some sort of jumps on because the Cadillac roof was caved in.
What the fuck?
But here's the thing. His girlfriend was so fucking hot. She was a French chick. She came out. I go, that's your girlfriend? He goes, yeah. He was really low key. I don't know if he was on drugs or anything then. He was just cool. But do you know the hill behind the Comedy Store? It's Kings Road. It goes
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
This is the road that my dad lived on at the top. He hops on his fucking
Just
skateboard
bombs down the hill.
like it was nothing. No, he went down the hill like this.
Yeah, they call it bombing down the hill
Oh,
for
is that what they call it?
skateboarding.
Yeah, I'm not. I skateboarded a little, but I didn't know about it. He's the only skateboarder. But then when I heard Jason Ellis, I go, oh, he does stand-up comedy. God, everybody does.
He's hilarious. I've seen him like three
Okay.
times. I saw him for the first time with Big J. I
And
didn't
he's
know.
such a nice guy.
Yeah, I didn't know he did comedy. And then I seen him. I was like, oh shit, I remembered him from like the X Games, like skating and shit.
Right, he's probably great.
Yeah, and then he has a good podcast with Tony Hawk. It's called Hawk versus Wolf. It's pretty good.
He said that he lost a lot of money. I heard him on the Orny Adams podcast.
I think he's been divorced a few times, so yeah. Even Muska had some money problems because he wasn't paying his taxes or something. Like, you know, you get paid like that, like you're responsible for
Yeah,
all the taxes.
but this guy Chad Muska was so cool. I don't even think he had a blood pressure. That's how he was just like, your dad's fine.
So he was friends with your dad?
Well, because he rented the top part. My dad was living on the bottom, so they saw each other. He goes, your dad is cool. This is how low key he was. He goes, don't worry. I was like, dude, I was freaking out. I started like losing it because he was tall. You know, when you're excited and a person's going, it's going to be okay. You're just like,
He's like,
I'm
"Just
like,
chill,
I didn't
man."
know he was a fucking professional skateboarder till my dad told me. I don't know any professionals. The only professional skateboarder I know is Tony Hawk,
Exactly.
just from the video games and him being on.
Yeah, Chad Muska, he was in all the games. He's you said
You
he
see a good skater?
yeah, his they called him he had a board called Cadillac Muska.
Oh, cool.
So he's really into Cadillacs. What's funny that you were saying that
Yeah, he had the
that he was
Cadillac.
skateboarding on a Cadillac because
Cadillac
it was
hood
part of his brand. Like,
was completely caved in to where it was hitting the passenger and the driver's top of the seat. And it was painted really cool. I guess he would just like do tricks off of that or something.
now I'm gonna have to Google this, see if there's probably skate photos or videos of him skating on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I don't know. It's cool that Jason. You know, a lot of people do comedy. It pisses me off. Like they
Hey,
just.
You know, it's funny how you said I like to take boomerangs.
Mhm.
When I did that show with him, I asked him like, "Can I do a boomerang with you?" He's like, "What's a boomerang?" And I was like, I was like the little flicker video.
Is he English or Australian?
He's Australian.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
he should know what a boomerang is.
No, that's why he's like, "What is he talking about?" I can't do an Australian accent. My voice is fucked right now. But
Right.
You get it. But I was like, you know, the little video where it flickers. I was like, well, can we do it or what? In the video, he was like pretending to punch me. I was probably like pissing him off. But
Didn't he do MMA too and stuff?
yeah, he's done everything. He's fucking crazy. Like, it's crazy how people have lives like that. Like,
Yeah, you don't know about.
I met another professional skateboarder called. His name is Mike Vallely.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Viva La Bam. I don't know if you remember Viva La Bam.
Mm-hmm.
He was on that show a lot. He was in movies. He plays professional hockey. He's in a band. Like,
Oh, cool.
how do you have that much time to do stuff with your life? I try to focus on comedy and podcasting, and I'm like
Yeah.
stressing out.
I'm
you know?
glad you got this podcast, Andy. You're a nice guy and you're easy to talk to and you're not arrogant. You've always been kind to people. That's what I look for in an artist.
This is what I told my girl. Like, she doesn't understand the whole comedy thing. Like, I found my purpose. You know,
Right.
I started comedy at 34. I don't know when you started it.
Did you tell her that you found your purpose?
Yeah, like I'm just trying to explain to her.
Yeah,
Like,
that's gay. I'm just kidding.
I tell her
I found my purpose, honey.
it's God's plan. But
Yeah.
I told my wife, like, I've always been a fan of comedy. I've always wanted to do it. I just never knew anything about it. Didn't know,
Right.
Didn't know where to go. Didn't know where to start.
Yeah, nobody does.
So I
this.
finally took the fucking leap at 34, and now I do this podcast because I want to be able to meet more people. Because
Sure.
when you go to fucking mics, you just hey, what's up, cool shit,
Yeah.
good shit, bullshit, But I want to be able to talk and get to know people.
And plus, when there's all those people there, it's hard to really get to know somebody. Like if you go to a mic and there's 40 people,
Exactly.
sometimes I get like, well, now I don't, but when you don't know anybody, it's a little overwhelming.
And then I try not to bother people, especially when people are having conversations. I've butted in conversations a few times.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
you're
oh,
pretty shy.
I feel fucking stupid.
Yeah,
So I try not to butt in, especially when everybody knows each other, and you're the outsider. So
but you're kind, and I think that's the start of a good artist. I don't think, I was bullied coming up because that was the type of comics in
yeah, I was
Hollywood.
gonna ask you. You've been in this for a long time. How
Right.
is the scene then versus now?
Well, when I started, there was no social media that you could do now where you could get booked you had to get people's cell phone or it was in the paper.
In the paper?
Well, I started in Hollywood because my dad lived there. I didn't know, I went to all these mics. That was horrible. But you know what? It's weird. Like everything that's on social media now that's bad, they would tell you to your face. That's the difference. Like if they didn't like your comedy, they go, "No, Johnny, you're not ready for this show. You've only been doing comedy like yeah, I think I've seen you down here 4 times in a year."
I'm not gonna
And
name
you're just like, "What?"
I'm not gonna name names, but
Right.
I once asked somebody.
Come on, just name the name.
I'm not gonna name names. They know who the fuck it is. I wanted to host their show, right? Like I just asked, like, can I
It's
host?
no good unless you met. It's a podcast. You spend who gives a fuck if they're assholes? You're not gonna fuck with them.
I like the dude. I think he just had a bad day. But
Okay.
anyways, I asked him like, hey, do you
Let's just say it's the buddy system.
No, it's
Yeah, I'm just
it's
kidding.
not. No, I've never asked
I'm
those guys.
kidding. No.
So I asked him like, hey, like maybe sometime you think I could host sometime?
Oh, that's
And
cool.
and he was like, fuck you. You've only been doing this for 6 months, blah blah blah. And I'd actually been doing it for like a year, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And I was like, I was like, what? Like what? He was like, I don't know what
Was
he's.
it out here in the Inland Empire?
I'm not gonna name names, but anyways, this guy like kind of flipped on me, and I was like, what
He's
the
not
fuck?
gonna name names.
I was like,
Pussy. No, just go ahead.
all right, I'm gonna say it. It was fucking Darby Cash.
Was it?
I asked him.
Oh, okay. And this all goes back to the YouTube comments.
I asked him, hey, do you mind me? But
Why the fuck would he say that?
let me finish.
Okay.
There was another comic there. He was drunk and he was supposed to be hosting, and he was fucking sloshed. So Darby was mad, and I asked him, and he made that comment like, "Fuck you, you only been doing this 6 months," and I was like,
Right.
"What the hell was that about?" But then he apologized later.
Well, not to defend Darby, but I think when a person says that, somebody probably said that to him.
Yeah.
It all goes back to how you were
So
treated.
I didn't want to name names because I said I know he was having a bad time.
Well, now you name names, and it's going to be all over the
Well,
internet.
you forced me,
and
Johnny.
Leah will tell everybody. Andy doesn't like Darby. Send now.
Correction.
Nobody
I
gives a fuck.
like Darby. I just know he was having a bad time. But that's the one time.
Well, you can have him on his podcast, and he can apologize,
That's
and you won't even know because he's so fucking sarcastic. You won't even know if it's the truth.
That's the time that someone told me something like that. Like you're not
Yeah.
ready.
Well, listen,
And he had a drunk motherfucker doing that shit. I'm like, that guy can do it, but I can't. But
Yeah. like, okay, let's just take any scene. I love Gil and Horchata because Gil, if you ask him something, he's professional about it. He's not. He doesn't go to his ego. There's comics like the Buddy System where, Nick Laney asked them, can he host? And they didn't think that he could host. But it's just fucking sad. I get real emotional about this because everybody is just trying to do their thing.
Mhm.
And if somebody comes up and goes, "Hey, I'd like to host," or whatever, and all the time when I first started, I remember all the mean shit and the bullying shit that they did to me. But you know what? You know why I knew it was bullshit? Because my parents were actors, so I had that. I already knew the bullshit. I knew that, okay, this guy thinks I'm an amateur, which is fine. I'm not good. I know it. It's my first year. He was an asshole to me. And I remember that motherfucker's name. And if I ever seen him, I've seen him 15 years later, and they don't recognize me. So whatever. But I think like Andy in that situation, and that's another thing I don't like about drugs or alcohol. all these people that do drugs or alcohol or whatever, they can't compartmentalize their feelings.
Mhm.
It's not really who Darby is.
I'm not saying Darby was drunk.
Well, if he was drunk or
No, he
high,
wasn't.
okay,
He was
okay,
mad at the drunk dude, and
right,
he took the anger out on me.
yeah. And if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, Johnny, uh, advice on this, this, and this," I'll tell them there is no advice, but I can tell you one thing: be kind to everybody and say whatever you want on stage, and that will get you far. You'll have a good reputation, and you'll get booked a lot if you work at it. But if I was running a show and somebody said, "Hey, can this particular mic where Darby was," and you said, "Hey, man, I really want to host," I would say, "Of course you can host." To me, that's better than telling somebody they've only been doing it 6 months, because the people that you tell they've only been doing it 6 months, don't you fucking think they know they've done it 6 months? It's not like you're telling me. When I was doing it 6 months and these people were telling me I was horrible, you don't think that I go home and say, Jesus, why the fuck am I doing stand-up comedy? I am dog shit, and I know it takes a long time. Some people progress faster. It took me 10 years because I didn't know I wanted to do this. So all you have to do, what do they say? Being kind. They should teach that in school to kids. They should teach acceptance. And if you want to be mean to somebody doing comedy, then quit comedy and fucking join someplace where you have to be mean.
See, the thing
Like
is,
become a fucking MMA fighter or work for the mob. I don't know.
the thing is that we need each other. Like,
Right.
no one makes us alone. You need each other. Like,
It's great to get along with people.
I get along. I try to get along with everyone. Like I
Yeah.
said, I know not everybody likes me. You're not going to be liked by everyone.
Sure.
But I don't go out there. I don't go out there and be negative towards anyone. Like,
But what's the fuck? Tell me this. What the fuck is the point if somebody comes up and goes, "Hey, this, that, and the other thing," and you're just like, when people come up to me, because I've been doing it for a while, and they ask me things, I don't go, "Well, fuck you. I've been doing this for a long time." I just go, "Well, don't listen to anybody and follow your heart. Whatever you want to do. It depends on if you want to take this seriously or a hobby." And then you'll make the distinction, because you know what? You know who will tell you if you're good at comedy?
the crowd.
The crowd. Thank you.
I've never been.
Word.
I've
Word.
I've never been like booed. I've never been heckled. So
Right.
far so good. Like,
Yeah, it's fine. They'll tell you when you're bad. And you know what? You might not like that. You might bomb. I've bombed more than people have even done comedy. So,
I hate bombing. That it carries on for weeks.
I mean, I got a showcase at the Comedy Store 5 years in. Somebody saw me. They liked me. I bombed. Ari Shaffir said after my set to the audience at the original room,
No way.
"I'm sorry." That's what he said. I quit comedy for 6 months. Now, that's the difference between being kind. I bombed so bad on a Fraser Smith show. That guy is the best fucking host in the world. Fraser Smith.
I've never heard of him.
He's like an old-time comic. I was so bad. But you know what he said about my set? He goes, "Give it up for Johnny Gold." And he kept the show going.
Everybody has bad nights. Like, I've done
Yeah.
a joke at one place and it killed, and then a joke in another spot and like nobody laughed. I'm like, you're supposed to laugh at this punchline, and they're not. So it just depends on the crowd. You can have shitty crowds. It's a fact.
To get off topic, I mean, first of all, just be kind to people. If you're tired and you don't want to talk to somebody, stay the fuck home. Because you could stay home and still go out and do comedy. Look, I go to Chatterbox. Do I get along with everybody there? No. There's certain people that I just leave alone because maybe we don't get along. Maybe I'm very outgoing, so sometimes people think I can be kind of like arrogant, but I'm not. But I get that. Let's say I'm having a bad day. Let's just say I'm struggling with my business or my family or something, and then I just come in and I'm like, oh, I got to do comedy, and then I might sip on myself, or I might say something I shouldn't have said. But in the end, my reputation as a comic to everybody since day one, if you talk to somebody about me day one and now, they'd have the same thing to say about me.
I have nothing but good things to say about you. I haven't heard anyone talk negative about you ever.
And George Frito tried to.
I don't know him like that, so
Forget it, Andy. I'm taking over the podcast. He tried to, but nobody believes anything he says. And I don't like that. And listen, George, I don't go to their rooms anymore. But at some point, they've got to be called out. And I know a lot of people don't want to call them out because they have to get stage time, but I don't give a flying fuck about them. Anyway, to get back to what you're saying, be kind to people. Uh, Listen, I don't know what I'm doing on the internet, on Instagram. So I asked Darby and I asked Angie. Timmy Maldonado's another great guy. They
Yeah,
go,
shout out
hey, if
Timmy.
you want me to do, shout out to CK, and we have a new room. He's taking over Nick Lanny's room
Which one?
at High Point. You can be on
I
it.
never. Is that the? No, I've been to Greywood. I've never been to High Point. That's that.
That's in San Dimas.
I've never been there before.
Well, when it gets started, reach out to Timmy, and you can get some time.
It's cool that they have a little memorial for him there. Is it still there?
Yeah.
The little picture.
We did the last show. We did. He had it booked up to the end of the year. That motherfucker was so fucking organized that Paul
He
Antonio.
asked me to do a show. The last time I talked to him
Right.
was the last time I talked to him. He was like, "Yeah, I do a mic," and
Yeah.
he was even telling me about another one in Rancho. Like,
See, that's how everybody should be.
I liked him. He always talked to me. Like me and him were talking outside Back to the Grind when it was like when it first went back to the Grind. I think it
Right.
might have been the second time or the
Right.
first time. And he was telling me about his headlining show, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this other show here." And then he suggested some other mic in Rancho, and we were talking. And then the show started, and we just went about our business. You know.
Like I said, to get back, if somebody's putting on a show and you show up, and let's say they have 5 or 6 comics, you know what these shows we do? They're at breweries. I would take the template from Nick Laney, Juan Cias, Adrian Lopez, or whoever runs room out here, including Feed the Funny. There's so many. Timmy, Chatterbox. If you show up, they will put you on stage and you're not on the show.
I've done a lot of pop-ins like that.
That's a true kindness. There's some people that I've mentioned on this podcast already, the buddy system. If you show up at their fucking mics and to support, they're not going to put you up because they're very regimented in what they do because they have the biggest fucking egos in the world. What was that?
I don't know.
It might have been George Frito with a gun outside.
We're in a house, so it makes houses make noises. I don't
Right.
know.
So, like Juan Cias, he asked everybody that showed up, "Hey, do you want to do 7 minutes?" That goes a long way.
I love his comedy.
In the community.
Mm.
So, like, if I see Andy and he comes out to High Point,
How come you don't host mics?
no, I can't do it because I'll tell you why. When Nick died, rest in peace, Nick, his mic, I called up the place at High Point because I knew somebody would try to take it. And he goes, "No problem, John. On your word, we'll start again." Paul Antonio, thank you. He finished up the end of the year. He really didn't want to do it. He's got a lot of shit. I don't know if you know.
I think I met him at the Grey Wolf.
Yeah,
I think
he's
yeah.
great. He's a great person. He paid people, overpaid people, but we did it all the way to the end of the year, and now Timmy's taking over for good.
Is it still gonna say Nick Lanny? It says Nick Lanny's.
It's up to Timmy, and I
Okay.
know Timmy is fantastic. It might, but it's what he does. But here's the thing. Geez, I just lost. What the fuck am I talking about?
I don't know. You were pissed off about the buddy system.
No, I'm off the buddy set. What I'm saying is, if you show up, I've showed up to Chatterbox open mic an hour and a half late because I hit other mics, and KJ comes up to me and goes, "Hey, look, I can get you on tonight." That's all I ask. And I go, "Hey, if you can't, cool." That's all a comic wants. They don't want to be in this regimented, "Oh, well, you didn't get here fucking exactly on time." Yeah, well, we're hitting other mics, motherfucker. We're trying to
Exactly.
become good. So be open to people. If you asked to host a show, why not? Have these people seen where these shows are? We're not doing shows at Carnegie Hall.
That's what I had. That's what I
We're
had the
doing
most-
shows in fucking places that we have to promote to get 10 people to come out. And you're like, "No, you've been doing it 6 months." Hey, motherfucker. When they used to say that to me when I started, you know what I used to say? I go, "Yeah, I know I've been doing it 6 months, but how do I get on shows?" And he goes, "You don't." And so then I stopped asking. But all he had to do was say, "Hey, you just started. This is how it works. Come down here more often. And when people did that, I listened more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A teaspoon of sugar is better than vinegar or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, majority of the shows I've ever done was popping. So shout out to everyone's ever given me
Yeah, me
opportunities.
too. I mean, dude, sometimes you go support a show just to see. Leo likes to do that.
I do that a lot too.
Yeah, he goes, "Hey, I'd like to go to the show." I go, "Hey, I'll meet you down there. Let's check it out." And they'll go, "Man, thanks for coming down. Do you want a spot on the?" See, Nick Laney used to do that. If you would have showed up at his show, one time I showed up at Nick's show and he gave me all the preferential. We were bored. He goes, "You want to do 5 minutes?" I go, "Nah, man. I feel like," and even Nick felt like, "I don't want it to seem like you're doing." So I said, "I'm good. You just booked the comics." That was his like
I was
bread and
surprised that he
butter.
even offered me a
No,
spot
he offered everybody.
because he's like clean comic and I'm like dirty as fuck.
Yeah, but
And
he no, but he doesn't care about that.
yeah, but I was like, yeah, I'll do your show. I don't give a fuck,
He doesn't care about that. If it was a clean show, then you wouldn't have been able to do it. But that High Point is not a clean show. The
Yeah,
guy who owns High Point loves comedy.
I wanna go check it out. So whenever the next one
Yeah,
is,
well, you'll see the
I
flyer.
follow them on
And
Instagram.
Timmy, you know what Timmy's gonna do? Shout out to Timmy Maldonado. He
I wanna
says
have him on soon too.
for every show they're gonna have a raffle for a guest spot.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like the set of the nights that they were doing at Chatterbox. I never went to any, but that's cool that they do that. Like
we're done.
we're not done yet.
It's
But
7:30.
anyways, so let's all right, we're
Let's
gonna wrap
wrap
this
it.
up.
Look, your wife comes home, you're done. Do you know what it's like to be married? I don't think you do.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Look at her. She just looked at me. I
Anyways,
hope you spent $10,000 at Target. And then Andy has to work the street as a prostitute.
before we leave, this was a New Year's Eve episode, so we have to.
Happy New Year's.
I'm gonna do a check out my little bottle opener. I got a little
Oh,
soldier
that's
crown.
badass.
Since you don't drink, we're gonna do a little
Is
apple
that the cider?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, fuck
We're
yeah.
gonna toast to the New Year's.
I got a good toast too.
Hey, promote your show right now while I pour these. Your show tonight.
Oh, my show tonight is in the ghetto of Fontana with Mario Rodriguez is headlining, I believe. Oh shit, good thing your wife didn't see that. Um, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have Darby Cash, who's the troublemaker who told. Oh shit, that shit went in my glasses, man. That's
This is a fucking trade
That's
wreck
a
of
no.
an
That
episode.
I love. Are you out of your fucking mind?
It's just
That's
going up.
apple cider, but it's spring. That's
Hey, it's a
sweet.
celebration, New Year's. Happy
Do you
New
think
Year's.
I want to drink with your thumb over that?
Okay, then
Do you have AIDS?
you want to
That's
pour
what
your
I heard.
water in this thing?
No, it's fine. I'll have some. It's going to be a great show. New Year's Eve starts at 9, ends at 11. Look at this. Thank you, Andy. That was sweet of you, knowing I don't drink.
We're gonna cheers to the New
Cheers.
Year's.
This is a cheers to Andy that he will someday be able to host a mic.
Let's go.
Cheers, Andy.
Hey, I can't host Mike, so I started my own fucking podcast.
Right.
Fuck
word.
you guys.
Yeah, fuck you, motherfuckers.
Happy New Year's, everyone.
Mm. Happy New Year. Oh, man, I forgot. I used to drink this all the time in the 90s.
Yeah, my wife loves this flavor, so I told her you can have whatever's left. So yeah,
Mm.
it's apple cranberry.
Shout out to Leo. We talk shit about him. Shout out to Darby Cash. We talk shit about him, but he's fucking so sarcastic. He probably thinks we're praising him.
I got fucking apple cider all over me. I don't know how it wasn't even shook up.
Dude, it sprayed in my fucking
it's
hair.
been sitting here next to me this whole fucking episode. I don't know how that
Yeah,
happened.
this is delicious. I'm gonna have to get some.
I'll
of
give you
this
some more after this.
shit. No, I'm
But
good.
anyways, so you got any shows coming up you want to promote?
That's the one. Do I have any next year? I can't remember. Johnny Gold 777 on Instagram.
That's Johnny Gold's Instagram. I have a show coming up in January 17th at Xpadas. You could follow me on my Instagram, AndyC_comedy. You can also follow us on the Crimson Comedy Show Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube, Spotify. All right, Johnny. Happy New Year's, everyone.
Happy New Year. Peace.
Thank you guys. Good night.
Thank you. Oh man, that was fun, dude.